Should you avoid living in a 55 plus community? There's something that looks so appealing about 55 plus communities. The manicured lawns, the shiny clubhouse, the golf carts lined up by the pool. It all looks like resort living. But here's the truth. What looks like easy living on the outside can come with more restrictions, costs, and stress than most people realize. Today, I'm going to share the 5 biggest reasons you might want to think twice before buying in a 55 plus community. That's whether it's a condo, single family neighborhood, or even a mobile home park. And stick with me until the end because I'm also going to share some important tips about selling your home in retirement that most people overlook. And it can make a big difference in your financial future. If you haven't already watched my video about Kimblewick, stick around until the end for a link to my driving tour of this up-and-coming 55 plus community. Number 1, the rules, the regulations, and the reality. Every neighborhood comes with an HOA with a set of rules, but 55 plus communities take it to a whole nother level. You'll often find pages upon pages of restrictions, not just about landscaping, paint colors, or mailboxes, about who can visit you, how long they can stay, and sometimes even when they can come visit you. Imagine your grandkids wanting to spend a week with you during summer break and the community rulebook says they can only stay for 3 days. Or worse, not at all during certain months. And that's not the kind of freedom most retirees are dreaming of. And then there's the issue of enforcement. These communities can feel a little, well, let's say overmanaged. That's a good word, right? With many residents retired and home during the day, there's always someone watching for rule breakers. That might sound like an exaggeration, but I've seen it firsthand. Neighbors reporting each other over a misplaced flower pot or an unapproved wreath on their door. If you're picking peaceful living, but not a community where everyone knows your business, this is something to think about. Before signing anything, read every HOA document carefully. The bylaws, the budget, and the meeting notes. Look for patterns. Are there constant disputes? Do the rules seem overly strict? Those are red flags that can quickly turn your dream retirement into daily frustration. There are also hidden costs of a lot of the amenities. When you first tour a 55 plus community, it feels like a cruise ship on land. Pools, fitness centers, pickleball courts, painting classes. It's like adult summer camp. But here's the catch. You're paying for it all, whether you use it or not. Monthly HOA fees in these communities can run high because they're designed to maintain all those extras. And while those activities might sound amazing when you move in, as the years go on, you might not be using them as much as you thought. Maybe your health changes, or maybe you simply just got tired of all the same events. But even if you stop participating, the bills don't stop coming. There's an old saying, the nicer the brochure, the worse the deal. That couldn't be more true here for most 55 plus communities. The more amenities they advertise, the higher your ongoing costs, and often the less flexibility you'll have over how that money is spent. So before you buy, ask yourself honestly, will I really use all these things? If not, that beautiful brochure might just be selling you a lifestyle that doesn't fit your reality. Remember that gym membership that you paid for, well, for years like I did, so what can I say? The third is social dynamics. It's kind of like high school all over again sometimes. Now, this part can surprise people, and you'd think that by retirement, everyone's matured past cliques and drama, but communities like this can feel sometimes like high school 2.0. You'll find groups that stick together, gossip that travels faster than a text, and sometimes even subtle rivalries between residents. And if you're more of a private person, that constant social buzz can become draining instead of energizing. Then there's the issue of age diversity, or honestly lack thereof. When everyone around you is in roughly the same stage of life, you can use that connection to younger generations. Seeing families out walking dogs, hearing kids playing outside, those little moments bring life and energy to a neighborhood. Without that mix, some residents say it starts to feel isolated or, repetitive. And let's be honest, Not every neighbor is sunshine and smiles. Some surveys have found that nearly half of residents in 55 plus communities admitted that they disliked at least one of their neighbors. And I didn't take that survey. So while these places promise friendly, active living, that's not always the day-to-day reality. So now let's talk about property value and financial risk. This is where things get serious. One of the biggest selling points of 55 plus communities is affordability. Homes are often priced lower than comparable properties in all ages neighborhoods, which sounds great when you're buying, but there's a reason for that. The buyer pool is limited. Not everyone qualifies to buy in a 55 plus neighborhood. That means fewer buyers when it's time for you to sell, and often slower appreciation. And if a newer 55 plus development opens nearby with updated amenities and modern homes, your community's values can take a hit fast. Another financial challenge is that many of the residents live on fixed incomes. When HOA fees or maintenance costs rise, and they will, some owners can't keep up. That can lead to deferred maintenance, special assessments, or even the decline of the community over time. I've seen communities that looked pristine 10 years ago start to show major wear and tear because rising costs outpaced what residents could afford. And that's not the kind of surprise anyone wants in retirement. And lastly, the Groundhog Day effect. At first it's fun, the pickleball games, the happy hours, the group outings. But after a few years, some people find it all starts to feel, well, the same. The very lifestyle that drew them in starts to lose its spark. If you're someone who craves new experiences, travel, or being around a mix of ages and interests, you might just find yourself itching for something different. And while it's true that you can sell and move again, as time goes on, that gets harder, physically, emotionally, as well as financially. So it's worth asking yourself, will this still feel exciting 5 or 10 years from now? Now, I know none of us have a crystal ball, so we can't predict. But once that honeymoon initial period wears off, you don't want to be stuck in a place that feels more like a holding pattern than a fresh chapter. Now, before I introduce myself, I need to touch on something that's closely related but even riskier. Continuing Care Retirement Communities, or CCRCs. These are places that promise lifetime care for a hefty entry fee, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what most people don't realize is that many of these facilities are struggling financially. Rising costs, labor shortages, and poor financial management have pushed some of them to the brink of bankruptcy. That means the lifetime care they promise might not actually be guaranteed. If you're considering one, do your homework. Review their financials. Check occupancy rates, reserves, and debt levels. And talk to an attorney who specializes in elder housing before signing anything. Hi, I'm Susan Roberts with Homes by Roberts Realty, brokered by eXp, the only AI certified agent in the Indianapolis area. If you're thinking about downsizing, retiring, or selling your home here in Hamilton County, it's important to plan ahead, not just for your next home, but for your legacy. Many homeowners I meet haven't updated their will or trust, which can make things complicated if something unexpected happens mid-sale. Taking care of that now protects your loved ones later and makes your transition much smoother. And if your home hasn't been updated in a while, well, that's okay, because today's buyers often prefer move-in ready homes, but there are smart ways to position yours for success without doing a full remodel. That's where having an experienced agent who understands what today's buyers really value makes all the difference. If you'd like to talk about the best strategy for your next move, I'd love to help. You can call me directly at 317-785-1537 or check the description for other ways to connect. If you haven't already seen my video, 10 Housing Options for Older Adults, check it out here. I think it's over here. If not, it's going to be up here. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future tips about living and thriving in and around Hamilton and Boone counties. I'll not only see you on my next video, but I'll also see you on the other side of sold.